Hey there guys, this is Robin Hood and today I'm bringing you the last of the battles from the subscriber game night. So this one was actually fought in between the other ones, but once again, Indie Pride and I, this is the Chubu Pass map, and this time I actually was using a Follow the Samurai army. Follow the Samurai was open, and we thought this was a different map than what it was. So it is a map that, as you can see by how flat it is in the center, because these hills on the flanks don't really help you that much, that it is not good for Indy's Fall or Shogun 2 army. He'll pretty much get cut up by gunfire. So that was the first mistake, thinking it was a different map. Our opponents are Sprint and Don Rogo. They were communicating also. But basically here, I've got the Fall of the Samurai army. Bad map, you can see rather open. And there's Indy's army. And immediately here, we saw that we were basically in a lot of trouble. Their army, I mean, basically one-on-one, my army could have held out just fine. I can't say it would win. Don't know until I actually play them 1 versus 1, but you know, it could have held just fine against either of these armies. This one, my infantry would have just absolutely destroyed it, and then probably could have held against the cav. But you know, they obviously coordinated, because if he uses this army in regular single player, then that's kind of impressive. He's got some very nice cav. That's a sprint, but I mean, if it was against me, I'd quickly blow out his infantry and be able to shoot up his cav. But since they're working together, you know, that's not a factor. This guy brought a lot more infantry, Don Rogo here. And the disadvantage is they have a lot more and better cavalry than we do. And they have 2 ranged armies, and very nice ranged armies. So basically, we saw from the layout of this map and what they were trying to do, that it would be very, very, very difficult to win this one. And, you know, it was just for fun. So, nothing bad came from it. And I don't mind losing, but if you guys can't tell, we do lose this one. But our strategy to try to win, I don't know if it was the best one or not. But you guys will see. I think it was a valid strategy with what we had. Now, they were working together very well. You know, obviously if we were to sit up here, I mean, that just would not be nice, and we were moving to the trees because of his army. Had we stayed separated, Indy's army probably would have gotten the crap shot out of it. So, you know, when it's like this, you have to work together more so than when you're both using Shogun or Follow the Samurai armies against the same. And, yeah, Yarnkai hitting up there. So Don is just spreading out his flank right here, and we thought actually that they were going to occupy this hill behind us and be campers, but they weren't. But that's what it looked like, because the troops were all heading this way, and you know, we weren't going to attack up this at all, so we would have played the waiting game. But he's just going to keep spreading out this way until his infantry's all the way over here. And right now I was talking to Indy, I'm like, I don't know really what we're going to do here. This hill in the center is pretty much our only, you know, terrain advantage that we could have to even get Indy's army close without getting shot up. And, you know, the thing with my army is, when playing with a Fall of the Samurai army, now not always, I'll show you another battle where it's not so, but when your ally has one of these, you really kind of have to, the Fall of the Samurai army has to take the first shot, generally. You know, I have to be the one to suck up the fire to get his army close, because once his army gets into melee, it's a very, very good chance that we will win. Now, these guys, they knew he was playing with Shogun, and I don't know if they did this on purpose or not, but they're so spread out that if his army gets into melee, it'll do a lot of damage in its sector, but not hurt all across the line. So I'm going to have to take the first shot here, and it's about at this point that we see that he is going to keep moving forward and completely encircle us. And I said, you know what? Let's just go ahead and go forward, and you will see it here soon. I'm going to send forward my Tosas to take the first rounds. And I was going to set up along this ridge here, hopefully get some nice firing going down, and then his army would storm in. they also have a lot better cavalry than us, and a lot more of it. We have 4 and 4, 5. Well, no, we have about the same actually, except Yari cavalry is actually, if you look at the stats here, 4 attack, 4 defense, compared to a, does he have a vanilla Yari Kai? Yeah. Since it's a more modern unit, 12 attack, 4 defense. So, you know, he has a cavalry advantage already, and then Sprint brought a ton of cav that is really nicely upgraded, such as this Yari Kai here. He has a very upgraded Shogunate Guard cav, and such. Okay, so here it goes. You can see my army's moving forward, and we saw that Dawn's army was rather spread out. We were hoping we could just knock Sprint out of the fight and turn and face him, because it's our only chance really to win, because otherwise once they move up onto this hill, Indy's going to have the crap shot out of him no matter what, and we can't attack across this open plain. So he's going to start moving forward there. We got the cav on the flanks. Indy's putting his cavalry on this flank. You can see the lines of where my men are going to be moving up to take the fire and hopefully deliver fire. And here is where it is going to begin. As I move forward, my men are going to get the crap shot out of them once again. I do believe that the first shot is way too accurate, and that I don't care that these Marines, let's see, what is it? What kind of muskets do they have? I don't even know. It depends. If they're breech loading, then they probably could fire that quickly, but I don't know. I mean, units just seem to fire way too fast. I kind of liked Empire Total War better in that aspect, but you can see, although my left flank, due to these really nice Marine units, are going to get shot up, my own Marines are going to come in and start returning fire. But Indy's army here is going to get slightly caught up, but it is going to charge in and actually start doing some damage there on the right. And he actually had a naval bombardment, and let's see, is that the end of it? It wasn't super accurate, but it got some decent kills. But you can see his army going in, my men are shooting, but at this point Don Rogo's army's coming in on the flank. I'm trying to throw in units, and there's a cavalry battle in the back, and I was managing the front. So right now I see it in charge in, although he did in fact get the charge off. And yeah, there was just, you know, a lot of things against us there. That was a mistake on my part, not seeing that. But they had the advantage with the armies, and the way they used them really kind of eliminated the usefulness of Indy's army. Now, right now, my army has taken so much fire that it has pretty much been completely destroyed. I turned these units around, have my general firing here too, but what's left of my army just can't handle all the forces and all of this cavalry. You can see how veteran that is from all the flags. So it's going to crush his cav, Indy's. And I've got some men turned around and firing, but at this point, Indy's army has lost the advantage of that quick charge, and it is going to slowly be shot up by this Imperial Guard cav and then these units. So at this point, pretty much the battle was over. So good game to our opponents. You know, I feel like with this map and the armies we had, we did pretty much the only thing we could have. Now then, of course, you know, other people will probably say differently, but either way, it was a fun game. And you know, I don't mind showing a defeat every now and then, as you guys can probably tell, since I've shown quite a few, I think I've shown maybe 2 or 3 from Fall of the Samurai, and I've lost in 1v1s maybe about 8 in Fall of the Samurai, so I've shown a little then. In 2v2s I've lost more, because, you know, it doesn't always work out correctly. Sometimes your allies loses and stuff. I played some with some random people, and I didn't win any of those, even when I won my side of the battle. But, you know, that's why I just play with a partner now. But you can see Indy's army, you would think he would have enough troops to maybe beat this now, but since it is a melee army, there's nothing he can do. His units got some good kills, these ninjas here, charging in. Look at that nice kill animation. So, you know, they do wreck once they are actually in melee, but the fact that they are being constantly shot up is kind of disappointing. So I don't know how we would have done if we all had Fall of the Samurai armies. This definitely would have turned out differently, but I did think it was a viable tactic to charge up this way and knock this guy out while we had the cover of the hill. And then what we were going to do is actually move and set up behind here and make him have to come to us, but their cavalry made it so that could not happen. So well played by both of them. Good game to Sprint and Don Rogo. And we will take a look at the stats. That's the end of it, I think. Yeah. So it looks like Don's army's almost completely intact, and Sprint's cavalry stayed alive. They were very, very veteran units. But we got rid of his infantry. I don't think my army actually did all that much, though. Mainly because I was the meat shield. And sometimes to win, you have to do that. That time it did not work. You know, there's other times. Back when I played some of my battles with Chryseb, you'll see my army get absolutely destroyed because I had the army that could take a beating, and his, you know, when we were playing opponents in regular Shogun with a ton of matchlocks, his army could not handle matchlocks and bows because he fought with mainly monks, and that's a bad combo. So I would take the charge and all the fire, and then his army would come in and clean up whatever I left behind once my army was gone. That's that. Let's see. Yeah, my Imperial Infantry and Marines did the best. The rest of my units pretty much just died due to that first volley, just wiping them out before they could fire. Sprint's men. Indies, his men did okay for what they got to do. He had the biggest army. Then Don Rogo. That's that Marine unit that was on the flank. And all that good stuff. So, good game to both of them. Hope you all enjoyed that battle. See something a bit different. See us lose for once. Yeah, Indy and I, that's the first battle we've lost in a very long time. So good job to both of them. I feel like it's a lot easier for us to lose now, though, because sometimes the Shogun army has an advantage, but on other maps it just is really, really difficult to beat. Follow the Samurai armies with the Shogun armies. So I mean, I'm surprised that Indy and I have been able to win as many as we have with that kind of setup, and sometimes just it's because of that setup that we win. You know, people don't expect it, but you know, that was very nice for them to defeat us. We haven't lost in a long time. It's been well over 30 battles at least since we had last lost, so yeah, props to you guys. Well played. Good job. Had you guys stayed closer together, Indy's army would have cut right through you, and so it was smart on your part to spread out, and that is something anyone facing a Shogun army wants to keep in mind. When you are more spread out, unless you're in a 1v1, then that can actually hurt you, but in a 2v2, if one of them has a Shogun army, stay more spread out, and it can really cause some problems, as it did there. And on some maps, though, it doesn't matter. On that map, there wasn't a lot of places for us to go in from. On other maps like Sakura Ridge, for those of you who have the game and know what I'm talking about, a melee rush army is almost guaranteed to win. Now, that's, well, I shouldn't say that, but it does a lot better than a regular Shogun army. I mean, a Fall of the Samurai army, my bad. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that battle. Maybe learned a little bit something from it. And thank you all once again to show up to the subscriber game night. I've had a ton of people say that they couldn't come because they were Europe and it was early in the morning, so I will do another one earlier in the day here in the US for those kind of people, and you know, anyone else who wants to join, but we'll schedule that for some later time. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Okay there, guys, if you liked that video, please leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, and click that subscribe button for more. Also provided is a link to my Facebook and Twitter accounts so that you guys can go and check that out. And in the bottom left, we have a link to the last video in this series so that you guys can go and check that out if you haven't already. And on the right is a link to my other channel, Robin Hood FPS, which features all of my first-person shooter gameplay. So if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, go check out that channel, and thank you for watching.